movie time? At the El Sleazo. Alita Battle Angel is directed by Robert Rodriguez, produced by James Cameron, and stars Rosa Salazar, Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, and Mahershala Ali. Is that right? And it's the story of Alita, a cyborg found in a scrapyard by Dr. Ito, played by Christoph Waltz. Alita is reconstructed by Dr. Ito, and when she wakes up, she has no memory of her past life. Alita's journey unfolds before us as she discovers her destiny as well as who she is. So James Cameron had actually been wanting to do this movie since 1995, almost 25 years ago, but he had been working on Titanic at the time, obviously Avatar a little later, and at the time the special effects just weren't that good. The reason he wanted to do it so long ago was because at the time he read it in a manga, which is basically the comic or graphic novel version of anime. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Alita Battle Angel was actually based off of a manga. It's kind of starting to sound like food. Jimmy, get up here now, your manga's ready! So let's start here, let's start in the beginning. I know that's a huge shocker that I'm starting in the beginning of a movie, but whatever, let's do it. This movie takes place in the year 2550 or something like that, and there's two different cities, the Iron City below, and then the Zalem, which is a city that floats above Iron City, and Iron City is basically this poverty-stricken, poor, penurious area, and Zalem is this high-class, highly acclaimed place to be. It kind of reminds me of that movie Elysium, if you've seen it. It came out like 40 or 50 years ago or something like that, not really, 2013, but who's counting? Anyway, it kind of reminds me of that movie because Elysium has an area where it's like the majority of the population lives, it's poverty-stricken, it's penurious, like I mentioned, I just use that word a lot, and then there's this another area, it's like another planet where it's a high class, everybody's rich, nobody gets sick. It's awesome. So I'm stoked for this movie, right? Like we have James Cameron who directed Avatar, the highest grossing movie of all time. He's not directing this one, but he's producing it. He has his hand all over it. I don't know what that is, but he's got his hand all over it, and I'm stoked, right? But I'm not gonna lie, this movie had a bit of a roughy start. What? Wanna say rough? Wanna say rocky? Said roughy. I was honestly kind of worried for the rest of the film because in the beginning of the movie, the screenplay wasn't that great and the acting wasn't really great either. And there's a lot of great actors in this movie, but if you give them bad lines, I mean, they can't really do anything with them. But luckily it got better. I honestly think a lot of it had to do with the character Hugo, played by Kean Johnson. I don't know what it is, but when I saw the trailers, he didn't really fit into the world for me. And there's something with him that every time he's on screen, you can tell there's a green screen behind him. Kind of like Princess Mira in Aquaman. Maybe it was his look, maybe it's his hair that looks like it's from 2004, maybe it's his sideburns. I mean, I hate to rag on a man's facial hair like that, but you know, shave it, bro! Said it made me look more grungy. Even after the movie was over, I was talking with the people that I went to go see it with, and without even mentioning anything, they said, yeah, the beginning was a little rough, and I was kind of worried for the movie, and I didn't even say anything. This would also be a perfect time to talk about how the music was great. It started out awesome in the beginning of the movie, and then it just kind of faded in the back, and I was like, where'd you go? Come back! Felt like I was talking to Wilson. Wilson! Feels like I'm ragging on this movie to start off, but I'm really not. I really enjoy this movie, so let's get into some of the things I like. Alita is by far the best character in this movie. She's the deepest, has the best backstory, the most kick-ass. I mean, she's awesome. You root for her entirely. I mean, she kind of reminds me of one of those virtual Instagram models where you're like, are you real or not? I'm not really sure, but whatever, you like her. And Rosa Salazar as Alita is fantastic in this movie. I mean, probably, in my opinion, with all the talent surrounding her, the best performance in this movie. I mean, one of the best parts of her character is how bubbly and energetic she is. She's just so nice. She might be a little naive at times and do things that she shouldn't, but she has such a big heart and cares for everybody. I mean, it's awesome. But don't be fooled, my young Padawan. I mean, she is insanely nice, and she's like a puppy dog at first, and then she reels you in, and then the next moment she can kick some serious ass. She is super cool. You can tell James Cameron's mind and hand is all over this movie. Built the world of Pandora and Avatar years ago. Fantastic world built in this one too. From the street guitarist to the costume design to the lore, the cyborgs, the sports, everything. Although some aspects of the world building are a little inconsistent, like I look in the background to see how much thought and energy they put into the extras going on in the background, and some of the people in the background look like they're wearing clothes that we would wear today, not 500 years from now. There's a lot of people, I mean, there's cyborgs in this movie, a lot of people are wearing futuristic stuff, and then there's other people that look like that guy from Lilo and Stitch on the beach where the ice cream falls off the cone, and I'm digressing. Like everybody's names evolved, but not the clothes. We've got Alita, Ito, Sharon, Vector, Zapunk, Gruishka, Hugo, Tanji, Yomi, Nurse Gerhad, McTeague, Iciana, Romo, Kanuba, Claymore, and Adjicuddy. Hey, but good thing Mikey's flexing a polo and a pair of Vans back there. But this is some of the best CGI and special effects you might ever see. The models are fantastic, the cyborgs look so realistic, and Alita throughout the movie, it's just job well done. The action sequences in this movie are so thrilling. All the motorball sequences, a bar scene in particular, they're just so thrilling, so well done, and really just intense. Not to mention that choreo. I also love the design of the characters and the cyborgs. Cyborgs. Watch out for them cyborgs! During Motorball, everybody has these different powers and techniques and weapons that they use, and it's just really creative. I mean, sure, they have the manga and everything to go off of and reference, but, you know, so what? Who cares? Alright, so now that we gave the movie some praise, let's talk about some of the things I disliked. Alright, here we go. Hugo sideburns. I'm kidding. So let's talk about the villain in this movie a little bit, which will kind of tie into my future points. It's really hard to pinpoint a villain in this movie, but the main villain I would say is Vector, played by Mahershala Ali in this movie, but there's an overarching villain in this universe named Nova. He's kind of like what the Emperor is to Darth Vader, but you rarely see Nova in the movie at all. You see him in like 2, maybe 3 shots, but the way he communicates is through different people, including Vector, and so he kind of uses those characters kind of like puppets. He's kind of the puppet master. I guess that's what a puppet master does with puppets. And so with that being said, Jennifer Connelly and Mahershala Ali's characters are, to me, very underused, especially Jennifer Connelly. She's such a great actress, and she does fine here. She just doesn't have a lot to do. Mahershala Ali has definitely a lot more to do, but again, he's kind of used as a puppet in Nova's game. And so he's not really the villain. It's kind of Nova, but he's barely in the movie, so it's kind of weird. Nova also didn't really look that great to me in the few shots that we did see him. He kind of looks goofy, to be honest. He kind of reminded me of Valentine, played by Sylvester Stallone in one of the Spy Kids movies, which is pretty funny knowing that Robert Rodriguez directed them.
Am I doing the right thing?
And this leads into my biggest gripe of the movie, and that it's basically, this movie just feels so unfocused. It doesn't really have, to me, a main objective. I would say the one objective and overarching theme on everybody's agenda, if you will, would be to get to Zalem. It's definitely apparent that that's Hugo's agenda, to get to Zalem, and Hugo and Alita are kind of a thing. But that's the biggest problem in the movie for me, is that you're watching and you're not really sure what Alita's objective is. Is her objective to go to Zalem? Is it to beat Nova? Is it to beat Vector? Is it to win Motorball? Is it to discover herself? Find out her past? Is it to follow Hugo? Is it to stay in Iron City? I really don't know. So we just kind of do all of those things. But I'll tell you why, or at least why I think they did it this way. Depending on how the box office does, they are setting up at least 2 more movies for a trilogy or franchise. Knowing that there's potentially 2 more movies coming out, it makes sense that they wouldn't show all their cards right away. We rarely see Nova, the big bad enemy, and we don't even see the city of Zalem at all. We don't want to show everybody these 2 things too quickly because we want to show them in the next 2 movies. That would just be too much. That's a lot of 2s. This movie sets up a great foundation for a potentially great franchise with a great character, great action, and great world, but we're just going to kind of run around and do a bunch of random stuff in this first movie because we know we're going to give our audience better stuff in the next 2 movies. And so you can't blame me and other critics for not entirely loving this movie as much as I think we should, because if this movie bombs at the box office, then we're not even going to see 2 more sequels. So now we're going to move on to a little segment that's actually my personal favorite segment. It's a little section that we've been doing for the past couple of reviews, and I think we're just going to leave it in till the end of time. And I actually like it so much that I went ahead and made a little intro for it, so let's do it. So the manga that this movie is based off of is actually called Battle Angel Alita, and they changed the movie title to Alita Battle Angel, and the reason they did this is because most of James Cameron's movies actually begin with an A or a T. Titanic, Aliens, The Terminator, The Abyss, True Lies, Avatar, Alita Battle Angel. I mean, dude, just buy AT&T. There's this one instance in the movie, and one instance only, where Hugo actually calls Alita Allie for short. He says something like, "What do you mean, Allie?" And I'm like, okay, we're pulling out the nicknames now? And I started thinking, why would you do that? And I think it was just because he was daydreaming about Mahershala. Get it? Like Mahershala Ali? Ali? I thought it was funny. So there are 4 final actresses up for the role of Alita: Zendaya, Rosa Salazar, Micah Monroe, and Bella Thorne. Man, what I would give to see Zendaya and Bella Thorne again as Cece and Rocky shake it up sequel series, Alita Battle Angel style. This movie includes roughly 1,500 visual effects shots. I don't know why you would want to know that, but in case some of you are like, well, if it includes 1,400, then I'm not going to see it. Alita translates to Little Wing in Spanish. I mean, imagine that title. Little Wing Battle Angel. This is director Robert Rodriguez's first PG-13 movie. Spy Kids 1, Spy Kids 2, and yeah, I believe him. So because this movie takes place in the 2500s, in the beginning of the movie with the 20th Century Fox logo, they actually changed it to 26th Century Fox just to be cute, but don't get all excited. They're not changing the logo or anything. I was kind of actually upset about that. Oh, and that red marking you see under her eye on the poster, that's dog's blood, you sick son of a... So all in all, I had a really good time with this movie. It's very enjoyable, extremely entertaining, and I really think you should go out and check it out. Again, it's not without its flaws, but I am grading this movie off of it being standalone with the potential of more sequels to come, which might just make this one better. This is a very solid foundation with a potential franchise, and I hope they make more of these because I'm intrigued to see where it goes. Alita Battle Angel was a good movie, and I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. As always, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like below. Let's try to get this video to 25 likes. Comment below your favorite James Cameron movie. If you've seen Alita Battle Angel, if you haven't, if you want to, if you don't. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell for notifications. And as always, guys, for everything good, great, and okay, I'll see you in the next one.